up, what's up, what's up? This is Tom Lamar, and that is
Two winners.
And you are watching
Talking shit with TNT.
Yeah, right, what's up, what's up? It's been a
Y'all.
really crazy fucking day today.
What you talking?
Yo, so first things first, this whole thing that happened in the Capitol today was wild. What you think about it?
You got me mid sick. I don't know. I put a couple of posts. Well, one main post up. I just think this is, first of all, our president cursed on national TV today.
Yeah, he did.
And then here came the riot that he enticed. And I got people on my post. They're for it. Saying these are true Americans.
Really?
All that good stuff. Yeah.
See, I didn't read your post. I seen what you put down with the cursing, and I laughed. When I heard it myself, I had to call you. I had to tell you that. But somebody really said that these are true Americans.
True Americans, true patriots. Because they're sick and tired of a government that's fooling them, blah, 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 blah.
So that's what they think.
Yeah. I'm embarrassed myself. And
all right, so these are the same people when, let's say, black people riot or anything that happens in the black community that they feel like, that black people feel like it's not right. It's law and order. Respect the cops. Respect the law. These same people?
Oh yeah.
These same people.
Same
Interesting.
ones.
You know what? I find it interesting. You know what I mean? And I don't know why I put the thing actually on, but I find it interesting that the same people who are always about law and order, but when it's always the law that's against what they like, then we gotta fight the power. That just tells you that law and order is always suggestive to the people who it's advantage to.
He ain't trying to call the race card, but I am. Because I'm like that.
No. It's a race card. I mean, because let's keep it real. Like, the law wasn't really made for African American people. It wasn't made for indigenous people. It wasn't, it was made for white America. That's what these laws were made for. Everything that happened in these laws, matter of fact, most of the laws that were made, literally were made to keep non-whites down. So, when they say obey the law and order, that's because the law benefits them in the long run.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Always has.
Always have. And all this law stuff is all, everything's suggestive. You know what I mean? What's legal to you, it may be illegal to me. You think about even the drug laws that we have now. They're very suggestive to just the black culture or Spanish Mexican culture.
You hit it because now, and even now, and everybody's heard it. You all have heard it. The epidemic of opioids. But back when it was crack, it was just lock them up.
Lock them up.
Lock them niggas up. Lock them up. And they ain't locking these other people up.
No, they need compassion.
Oh, they need to go to rehab.
They gotta get this Suboxone, which is like
drugs.
It was drugs.
It's drugs.
These
people are taking Suboxone instead of the drugs. Because it gives them a high too.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled. Suboxone.
I had a job. I ain't gonna say the name on here, but
I was in the same place.
I had a job, and every Friday, you would know what kind of calls you would get.
They want their Suboxone. This one lady told me, I want my Suboxone. I'm getting ready to go to the Hamptons. The Hamptons? So you can afford to go to the Hamptons.
On food stamps.
And you need Suboxone.
On food stamps now.
You got to go out there and partay.
Yes.
Parlay and partay.
Yes.
With your Suboxone now.
But and this just proves it. You watch what happened today in the Capitol, and they actually broke inside the Capitol building and literally was walking around. Not only walking around, they were in people's offices, sitting at desks, sitting at the chambers, pulling out paperwork, messing with people's computers with highly classified information.
Embarrassing.
You had, what was that one video we seen? It was one cop, he was black, and it was a whole crowd of white people walking through.
He was like a cop. He was like a security guard.
It really did. Now,
embarrassing, y'all.
You go back a few months ago when Black Lives Matter went down there, you would think that they were getting ready for war.
Exactly.
They had the soldiers on the steps armed to the T.
What is that?
You had cops out there with pepper spray, you know, and to let these people do what they do, and, you know, it just befuddles me. And I hear the president, he calls them patriots. Patriots. Patriots.
Sad shit we live in.
And let me get on to the president. And I don't know if you talk to your white friends or your Republican friends on your posts.
Yeah, I do.
Now, let's just call it what it is. Your president is committing treason. That's just what it is. It's treason. He's trying to do something that no other president has done before. He's trying to become a dictator.
Mm-hmm.
He lost the election, but he's trying to win anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He come up with these false fallacies that come out of the clear blue sky because he don't want to believe that he lost. And not only do he not want to believe that he lost, he's just mad because the black people and that voted him out. Look at the states that he's worried about and the cities and the districts that voted him out, that just blew him away. Detroit, Milwaukee, Philadelphia,
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia. These are the places that voted him out of office.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, in 2016, black people didn't vote like that.
No.
We were kind of mad about Bernie not getting the vote. And let's be real, Hillary Clinton is no Barack Obama.
No.
Black people don't like Joe Biden either, though. That's
Exactly. Let's make that clear. We're not really a fan of him either, but we definitely ain't a fan of Trump.
4 years of Trump, black people gonna come out to vote to get that motherfucker out.
Right.
You know, and I'm always curious when I hear, oh, the election was stolen from him, and he should have been president, and they just stole his votes. All right, wouldn't it have been easier if I was still an election and try to get my party in power? Wouldn't it be easier for me to just make sure the House have a lot of people as Democrats, and then wouldn't it be easier for me to make the Senate more Democratic than Republican? 50-50 split is what the Senate is right now. Thanks to Georgia. It's a 50-50 split. Only reason that the Democrats actually have it is because Kamala is a Democrat. So why would I make it harder if I'm trying to get power? And if we're going to get into a certain case, I'm going to be real with you. I really feel like the Republican Party really is a bunch of crooks. Let's keep it real. And I think the biggest problem with our whole election system is it does not cover just the popular vote. And what's the reason why you feel like they try to say they do it is because they want to give every state a voice in the election process. Well, if we're going to be honest with you, there's only about 3 states that really fucking matter because every state going to vote the same way regardless. You know, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and maybe Arizona. That's it. How many Democrats are going to win fucking Alabama? A Republican going to win every time in Alabama.
Breaking news. The lady who got shot at the Capitol has now died.
That's sad.
It's sad, but your ass shouldn't have been there. So I'm just saying.
All right, you go there.
Condolences to your family. I hope none of them are there either. But they should have had common sense enough to tell you, stay your behind home, because that was preventable.
Yeah, it was preventable though. You should not. Like I said, that's something. You know, the Capitol hasn't been invaded like that since 1812. 1812.
And they thought they were just going to do it all over again.
The British was the only people who do that to the Capitol. People climbing through windows. You know, and this is where it comes down to the respect of law and order. It just bothers me because I hear that. You hear that shit all the time. Republicans say that shit all the time. Law and order. Law and order. But look at this. Look at that. Just law and order is gone.
Out the window.
Out the window.
It only matters when it's not them. When it's us, oh, you better step in line. Boy, girl. I'm a grown woman. Don't you ever call me girl.
And just the disrespect. All right, now, you know, and I always hear that bullshit about, oh, patriots and I love my country. Do you know? Do you know? Do you really love your country?
No.
I mean, let's keep it a buck, all right? You walk around. I live in the South now, so I can see this more prevalently. You drive around, you walk around, you have these flying in front of your houses. You got these Confederate flags. And the first thing you say when you talk about Confederate flags is, it's our history.
Heritage.
It's our heritage. So your heritage is full of traitors. They're traitors. Call it what it is.
And they're so prideful in the fact that they lost. I just don't get it. Like, you want to fly? Let's fly this flag. We lost. Woo, we lost.
And let's be honest. And that's all bullshit. Like those monuments, those flags, they're all about intimidating.
Oh yeah, we know what it is.
Everybody.
We know what it is. Do you know how many times that these young white boys have put that big old flag on the back of their truck, drove by our church on a Sunday in the country, and we just look at them like, I bet you won't step on the church grounds though.
Yeah,
Bet you won't do that.
And you know they don't say it, but it's intimidation. You go out here now, and you know the new Confederate flag is the Trump flag. Again, you basically trying to put fear in the people. It's not standing for nothing. They lost. Truth be told, your heritage is a bunch of traitors. That's what they are.
So prideful in what? What
Your pride is in traitors. Oh, ain't because of black people. My grandpa never owned slaves. You know what though? But your grandpa supported slavery because your grandpa wasn't shit.
And he knew people that had slaves, guaranteed. And you got to also go back and look at the population when slavery was around. Look at the population of the black people, the indigenous people that were there already, to the white settlers that were coming in. Okay? I don't know how. It always boggles my mind to the amount of people that were, it was like, even if they were in the fields, one white person and you got 15 slaves. One white person, 15 slaves. And also makes me go back to think about that one god-awful movie, 12 Years a Slave. Because I'm sitting here like, either they was going to die or I was going to die. They had machetes. I'm either going to slit my own throat because I'm not doing this, or somebody finna die.
Now there was always slavery laws, so that, slaves did fight back to a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
But we're gonna
but not like not like
now. I remember back when I was like a couple years ago. I learned this. It's kind of like, you ever see an elephant? You ever go to a circus?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And you go to a circus, you see an elephant, and the elephant gotta be about a couple tons. And you ever notice how when you look at the elephant and they got this little chain around his leg and got a little stick in the ground? Now the stick never moves. The stick is small. Like, if the elephant really wanted to move the stick, the elephant could just boom and just go. Why is it that elephant don't go?
Probably gets whipped and everything else when
No, they don't get whipped now. What ends up happening is, everybody know, an elephant never forgets. So an elephant, once they see that stick in the ground, they remember back to when they were a child and they couldn't get free from it. So even as a full-grown elephant, they still think of themselves as that child, and it's impossible for them to get off. Now, when the elephant accidentally gets off and gets free, all hell breaks loose. Because then he's like, oh shit, his mind's been free. You know what I mean? That's what I think about when it came to the slavery.
I need for all black people to be free.
Well,
I need for all black people in their mind to be free.
Not all black people mind are free.
But I need them to be, because if we all stuck together, because baby, believe me, we are not 13%. They are lying to us.
Yeah, I don't
okay, we're not 13%.
I have a hard time believing that too.
I haven't believed it. You trying to tell me that from the time that I was in 4th grade up until now, that we haven't grown none? I'm not believing that. I'm seriously not believing that. As much as we've had mixing of races and people from outside of our country coming in, I'm not believing it. So therefore, I need for all of us to be free, and I need for all of us to work together, because we could put an end to this. We really could.
You believe so?
I think we can. Did you see the movie? What was the name of that movie? Antebellum.
You know what? I gotta go see that. I gotta see that. It's on my own.
If y'all haven't seen Antebellum, you better go see it. My girl, Janelle Monáe. Say it right.
I don't know.
Janelle Monáe. Y'all got to go see that movie now. It's an eye opener, because we are literally right now. We could be back in slavery. Do y'all realize this? Do y'all realize this? As much as they have us going against each other, and we go against each other, they were just shooting in Alma just the other day. Yes.
You know that boy that got shot on the corner died. The guy got shot at the light.
At the light where?
Remember they shot this dude at the light a couple of days ago?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he died. That reminds me.
And that's probably why they were shooting up yesterday.
So.
Because as soon as one people, like, they do this stuff, they go back and forth, and it's a shame, because when I was in elementary school, we didn't have a middle school. We went straight from elementary to high school. They kept us separated, but as much as they could. But that's what we did. They talked about gangs. Gangs were in New York. Gangs were in California. But they weren't here. They weren't in North Carolina. We didn't have to worry about that. But let's talk about it, because it's on media. It's on the media that we had back then. What? MTV, even BET, all that type of stuff. That's where it was at, right? So now gangs are here.
I always wondered that. So they actually literally brought the gangs from California and New York down to here.
Yeah, it's
weird.
here.
It's weird to me though, because all right, so I'm from New Jersey, and when I grew up, we had gangs. Don't get me wrong, we did have gangs, but it was local gangs. Like it was 6th Street, Lynch Mob, Parkside, PSM, LSP, Southside Posse, all that. It was local gangs. And I remember in about 2003, I moved down here for about a year. It was crazy though, because on my train ride down here, it was a dude on the train, and that was the first time I ever heard of a Crip being on the East Coast. I thought that was stupid as hell. So anyway, when I moved back to Jersey, I moved back to my city, and I'm from Camden. There was mad bloods everywhere, and I never understood that. And the crazy thing was I used to work in a black community, but it was a really uppity black community. It was really like they were really well to do. It was like a black suburb, and literally there were bloods out there. And I'm thinking to myself, you a blood that live in Wilbur, New Jersey. Well, how's that? That's people got jobs. These are homeowners. This is not Camden where it's a ghetto. This is like, this is Burlington County. How you got bloods out there? But they have bloods out there.
Because now it's worldwide. Everybody wants to be
a part of something.
You ain't just go be like regular folk, grow up, find a wife or find a husband, get married, and there's your game right there. Bada bing, bada boom. And your risk level is a little bit slightly lower than out here with these people that are, some of them, I can't even say some of them, some of the stuff they have, I guess, is borderline. They got a whole lot of bad stuff going on. And then they have this one little thing, that they may do. And that's the good thing that they do. But the bad outweighs the good, in my opinion. Because if you're doing one bad thing, I mean...
I'm gonna be real, especially a geeky nigga in high school who didn't really get no play for females and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The attraction for most people, there's attraction. Like, every dude that was with a gang, had females. It looked like they had a little bit of dough. They didn't have to worry about getting jumped by another gang because everybody knew who they was. You know what I mean? And, you know, I like myself, who had to fight by myself all the time and worry about getting jumped. You know what I'm saying? And I hold my own. I held my own, but still, it's still with that worry of whether or not I was going to enjoy it. I was going to get jumped or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, growing up, I can see why people, it makes you a part of something. But also, being grown.
What's the point?
Being grown and growing up is totally different. Now, being grown, I already know that the gang culture doesn't really work because, you know, the same, like the niggas I grew up with that are part of gangs. I know old people say this shit all the time, but them motherfuckers either dead or in jail for life. You know what I'm saying? You know, I used to allow my homeboys and young boys I used to be cool with. Now, I was never part of a gang, but I was cool with them, you know. You grow up around kids, you go to school with them from being knee high to a grasshopper, as other Southerners would say. You know, you be knee high, you know, and y'all grow up together, you know, you get to know people. And, you know, I know a lot of niggas that got murked over some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I play around about being old, but I like being old because being old means I made it.
And you have wisdom.
Yeah.
You got wisdom behind the stuff that you've been through.
Hell yeah. You know what, though? It's funny because, you know, I seen a post on Facebook that said, it's funny how my eyesight getting worse, but my vision is even clearer now.
Exactly.
You know, and I can see through things and see situations. You know, I can look at people and listen to people's things and like, that sounds stupid, or that's not going to end up well, or
and you just gotta know, and it winds up being what you said.
Yeah.
Because you got wisdom now.
Yeah, and I feel like at this point in my life right now, I can look at a situation and be like, nah, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? And if I do get myself into a situation, I always know. I know in my mind that that's a dumb situation. Why the hell I'm doing it? And then you talk to younger people, oh, you old, you this, you that. Like, first of all, hope to get to my age. And second of all, I know what I'm talking about. Especially when I have like female friends who are probably a little bit younger, and they be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about? I'm like, yo, he playing you. You don't know what you're talking about? You be looking at them like, and then like a couple of weeks later, how you know that?
First of all, I don't even get people business like that no more. If you like your situation, I love it because I don't have it in me anymore to tell you. I only got one person in the whole world that I would tell anything to about a relationship dealing with them. That's my best friend. Everybody else, first of all, I'm not even gonna know. Okay, that's number one. And number two, I just don't have it in me. You're gonna get mad at me for telling you.
That's true. I don't know. I just feel like people tell me stuff and I'll be like, okay. And then it's like, all right, you're telling me this stuff, but then when I tell you what is right, then I'm a hater. But I'm not hating. And then you find out later, oh, he wasn't hating. He was just trying to be honest. You know what I mean?
But they're not going to tell you that. Most of the time, they don't come back and be like, you were wrong.
You know what? Most of the people come back and tell me that shit. It's weird.
They don't tell me. You want to know why?
Because
I don't tell them shit. I keep it to myself.
They tell me. I have this thing where I can listen to you. People tell me their problems, but sometimes I can't help to say my two piece. And most of the time, you know, I just find out sometimes, though, I try not to say as much as I used to. I feel like the people I know or am cool with, they're stupid. And they do stupid shit. Or part of me feel like they know better, but they just trying to fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know better. You too old, or you too smart to be in this stupid situation.
I learned my lesson from doing people's relationships when I was in college.
But they're not really relationships, though. They're more of a dating. So
this person, she was in a relationship, but a white guy in a suit, walked up to her. Now, mind you, her and the boyfriend had broken up for taking a little break or whatever. He had been cheating, da-da-da-da. And the dude walked up to her and took her by the hand, kissed her on the hand, was, you know, I was trying to get her to go out with him. Nice looking dude in a suit at the mall. Okay? She was like, oh no, da da da. I was like, give him a chance. She was like, no, that's okay. So, dude walks out, whatever. All right, I was like, girl, what's wrong? Why you didn't even just give him a chance? I mean, dump your zero for a hero. Do something. And
so what made you think he was a hero though?
I mean, he wasn't, but he hadn't cheated on her yet. Her boyfriend had. I mean, it's just a date.
I was getting ready to say, like, just sometimes, give me back to another, give me back to the whole thing of sometimes we think that other is better.
I mean, but it may not be, but he hadn't cheated on her yet. Other dude had cheated on her multiple times. And I came back into work the next day. This chick done got in her mind. I guess she had gone home and called her boyfriend or whatever. Because mind you, this is like 2002. So everybody didn't have a cell phone yet.
Yeah, no way.
So,
I didn't.
I did. But
she
went home, I'm guessing, got in touch with her boyfriend, and must have some of the stuff I said must have rang true to her. Mm-hmm. And I think they got into a bigger argument. I don't know if he hit her or whatever. But she came back to work the next day mad at me. And I was like, okay, mad at me for what? You should have told me that I do, and my boyfriend should have been this, and you should have told me nothing about that too. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. Then she started calling me all types of bitches. First of all, what we're not finna do is call me out my name. I will bust your face up in here.
Let's. So she called you all kind of bitches because you told her.
Because I told her to date old boy. Forget about her boyfriend. Hell, y'all wanna split right now anyway. Dump the zero for a hero. Mm-hmm. Date, I'm going to date.
You know what though? Now, like I said, I don't talk to you about dating situations, but when it comes to your relationship, I'll probably be less than inclined to tell you to leave because I feel like
they was already broke up though.
No, he wasn't.
They was already broke up.
Did she got back with him?
She did, but she was already broke up.
But she got back with him.
But who don't go on a date when you on a break?
She don't go on a break.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't know where she is now. But I hope everything's going nice for you. But I kind of feel like it's not. But anyway, I mean, it wouldn't have been nothing. Like, I feel like women get caught up in that mess. Like, whereas, okay, like you said, they weren't broke up, right? Yeah. But when a guy takes a break, baby, they're taking a break. Oh, they're broke up.
Oh, God, no. Good.
So, what do you need to do? Take a break. Maybe going out there and dating a couple of guys will make y'all appreciate each other. Who knows? But
you know what I learned, though? I'm going to be real. Guys, depending on a guy mentality, he may not fully. Let me stop lying.
Yeah, please do. Because when a guy says, when a woman, you could be in love with this woman. This woman could be in love with you. No. But a woman tells you she giving you a hall pass. A guy gonna take that fucking hall pass. I don't care. It don't matter what type of guy it is. He gonna take that hall pass.
Yeah,
why is that? Because new poo-poo is better than anything.
Ain't nothing but a new pussy.
So that's why he gonna take it. And if your behind is sitting at home while he's on his hall pass and you ain't taking yours, because ladies, let's face it, once you say, here you go, take your hall pass, and they take the bitch, girl, you better call, what's his face he was trying to, the dude that he was trying to say that you was talking to, you better call him.
That's why, fellas, if a woman offers you a hall pass, do not take that shit. Because if she offers you a hall pass, just believe she got 10 dicks she can call on speed dial. Believe that. Don't get it twisted. A woman can go outside right now and get 10. If she want to have some sex, she can have sex in like less than 10 seconds. She can make a phone call, and she got that nigga on standby. You may not even know who the fuck that nigga is. Could be a nigga from her job. Could be a nigga from her past. Could be the nigga that she see at the store getting coffee. She can get that nigga, and that nigga know it. The niggas, we are dogs. We don't give a fuck.
It could be your friend.
But let's be real. If it's your friend, then it ain't no friend.
He ain't no friend, but it could be your boy, your homie.
You know what though? With that one, it'll be a fight, and that would be a fight.
It could be, but it all depends on how well people keep secrets. And you know people keep secrets.
Yeah, niggas don't keep secrets that well. Women do, niggas don't. And if your friend fuck your girl, you gonna find out. Cause you gonna tell somebody in your clique that
And
he
then it's
fucked
gonna
you.
be over.
And then it's gonna be war. Don't get it twisted. Women keep secrets like a fucking lockbox. Niggas do not.
But and this is kind of true because oh Jesus, even people that you talked to eons ago still be having your name in their mouth. Why is that?
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Why is that?
Yeah,
To get people upset.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I could get hurt. I want her. Da, da, da. Me and her used to kick it like bop, bop, bop. Let it go, though.
Because people think that they can always get you. You know what I mean?
Sad.
It is. But like I said, the hall passes, if a woman giving you a hall pass, you might as well just break up with her ass. Because it's already over. She doesn't. Just believe her. A woman say you can have a hall pass, she gonna fuck somebody else.
Well, I mean, I know women that don't. They just feel like their significant other is in a state where they want to go out there. And so instead of fighting them over it, they just be like, here, go and do it. I give you permission.
I don't know though. See,
It's true. Yeah.
that type of freedom, I ain't gonna lie, that type of freedom for me, I won't want to come back.
Well, see, women got to know also who to give those to. But I know some. I know some that they have. And in doing so, sometimes it doesn't work out well. Sometimes it works out fine. Sometimes you come back and you appreciate because
Have you ever seen that movie?
All that?
Yeah.
Bits and pieces. It wasn't too much one of my things to watch.
It was actually a good movie. First of all, the guys never even slept with nobody on the movie. Which is weird because the only person who cheated literally was the woman.
No, it'd be like that.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like I said, it depends on the person. It really does. It really, not every dude might get excited for it, but then the reality
if they're getting excited for it, just know.
Man, look.
Just know it, honey. He gonna do it regardless if you gave him the hall pass or not. I'm just gonna put it out there. So be mindful of who you giving the hall pass to. Okay? If they get excited over it, baby, they've been doing it.
Okay.
They've been doing it. Behind your back.
Yeah. If they do it immediately as soon as you got it, yeah, he had that one on standby.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't just getting no new pussy just like that. I'm just telling you that now. Unless you pay for it. But anyway.
Exactly.
But anyway, back to this election situation. Congratulations to Georgia.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop. Yeah. So, you know, Georgia done elected two Democratic senators. So that brings the Senate up to 50 with Kamala being the deciding vote if it needs to be. So that's an excellent thing. You know, you got the Reverend, what's the Reverend name? I forgot his name. The black dad dude. You had the Reverend who actually was the head Reverend at Dr. Martin Luther King's church. So he's gonna be one of the senators, and then you got also, I don't know why I know the Jewish dude name, but he's also, but I like Ossoff though, because Ossoff seems like he be on his shit, like he don't be playing no games. But you know what? I feel like, you know, when it comes to starting anew, it was good to have a different Speaker of the House and a different
Warnock's. Is it Warnock's?
Warnock. And it's good to have a different Senate leader. Mitch McConnell had to go. I'm sorry.
Goodbye.
Thank God. Now that the Senate is now headed by Democrats, Now, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Chuck Schumer either. He sounds like a whiny bitch. But, I don't know. I think Mitch McConnell he was just too stingy with the money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And don't get it twisted. Y'all get these $600 checks here, $1,800, $1,200 checks there, the unemployment. That's your fucking money. McConnell's not giving it to you. None of the senators are not giving it to you. It's your fucking money that's going to other bullshit. If they not spending that money on you, they're going to spend that money on the army or some other bullshit that has nothing to do with you.
Nothing against the army now. Nothing against the
military. No, nothing against the military, for real. It's not. But, come on now. You got people out here right now. This is a pandemic. People are having a hard time finding jobs. Like I said last week, they having a hard time eating, all of that. So, this is the thing. If you're going to give out money, why don't you give out money to the people who deserve it? The people who are starving. You know what I mean? The people who can't pay their fucking rent, having a hard time paying their electric bill. You know what I mean? And, they're quick to say, we don't want to give out handouts. We don't want to give out government handouts. What they call it? Entitlements. So they want to get rid of the social services programs for like food stamps. They want to get rid of Social Security. They want to get rid of, Medicare. They want to get rid of these things because they feel like the American people should not be supported by the government. But in the same right, the government is supporting their own companies. So how is that even right? But we are always taught as people. We are always talking to people. I'm sorry, something's going on here. But we are always talking to people, and I feel like they play to the stupidity of people. So, for instance, they talk about socialism. Do people really know what socialism is?
No.
All right.
Or Marxism.
They don't know what Marxism is. They don't know what communism is. They don't know what socialism is. All they know is what these politicians are telling them what this stuff is.
And the media.
Basically. Nobody really reads up on this stuff. You know what Marxism is?
Shit, no. Actually, I read about it, though. I can't tell you word for word, but I have read about it.
I'm going to dumbify it.
Yeah,
all right, dumb it down. Karl Marx is a French. He was a Frenchman or a German. I forget what he was. But he was just he just had this thing where he didn't want to show that people work all the time and still not enjoy life. So he felt as though the government should provide a way where people will work and be able to take care of themselves, but they still will be able to enjoy their life. That's what Marxism started from. Socialism was for the government to help support people so they can live and be able to have good stuff, but without having to work and kill themselves working. That's where all these little things come from. They come from Europe, where people worked all the time, and they were like slaves, but they wasn't slaves. You know what I mean?
Sounds good.
But now, don't get me confused. I mean, in this world that we live in, you have to have a free market. You have to have people being able to really advance. And the one thing about socialism and Marxism is you can't advance. You know what I mean? Usually your position in life is going to be the position in your life, period. You know what I mean? And that's where I do agree with. But there's nothing wrong with having programs that make sure that everybody have the basic needs of human beings.
I mean, that's where we get PTO and vacation pay.
Yeah, but
some of those type of concepts.
Exactly. But people are so in a rush to be like, oh, Marxist this and Marxist. If there's nothing wrong with being able to go on a vacation.
That's the first thing that needs to come out when they say that.
Yeah.
That's like. So you believe in not having a vacation?
Yeah.
Whenever they start with that calamity of Marxism is wrong, socialism is wrong.
No.
That's the first thing that needs to come out somebody's mouth. So you don't like having vacations, do you?
No. You would rather work. You know what? Because people got in their mind that eventually, especially people who feel like they're entitled, eventually they're gonna get rich. You get what I'm saying? So if you feel like you're gonna be rich, you think I'm gonna work myself to the bone and I can get rich. But most of the 99% of the people in this country, we work ourselves to the bone and we don't have nothing to show for it.
And then you die.
And then you die.
Ain't that a damn shame?
It is. It is. And that's where I'm not going to say you want to be a total social. I don't believe in total socialism or total Marxism.
No,
or,
of course not.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, first of all, those governments are easily corrupted. You know what I mean? A lot of socialists and communist areas are very easily corrupted. You know what I mean? But in the same right, we all have, every country have a form of socialism. It just depends on who they're helping. So, say for instance, like the Republican Party don't want to give out $600 checks, right? But they give out grants and all kinds of loans and all kinds of, you know, tax breaks to places like, you know, to companies like Amazon or Walmart. You know, people that have jobs. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I was listening to the president today, and he was talking about how Biden, when Biden becomes president, he gonna get rid of jobs and get rid of all the manufacturing jobs. That is a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. You know where all the manufacturing jobs went? It didn't go to fucking China. It didn't go to fucking Africa. It didn't go to India. No, most of the manufacturing jobs that are left this country literally left because of automation. Case in point, I know I'm going to start rambling a little bit. Case in point, I used to work for the post office. Mm-hmm. And when I used to work for the post office about 20 years ago, they used to have this machine. There used to be 20 people on the machine. And you would sit there, you would take a magazine, you would pick it up, put it in the machine. That was your job for 2-3 hours, just this all day.
Okay.
And I wish I had a smartphone back then, because I probably would have been watching TV while I was doing this shit. But later on, 6 months later, the post office decided, we're going to bring this machine in. Big ass motherfucking machine, big as a fucking house. It went from having 20 people working in the machine to 2.
Bam.
And it did way more work with the 2 than it did with the 20.
And you don't have to pay it more.
So it made its money by taking away 18 jobs. Now you had about, well, how many machines of those we had? 20 machines. You had 20 people to a machine. You have 5 machines. That's 100 people. Now imagine going from 100 people working a job to 10. You losing 80% of your workforce off of automation.
Yeah.
But we're taught that, oh, jobs are going to China, Mexico, this country, that country. You know, now there are certain jobs that are going to other countries, like call centers, going over to India. That does happen. And not to say that every job is doing that, but there are some jobs that are doing that. But literally, it's at the point now where we got to stop trying to base our life on, whether or not, you know, Marxism and communism is a bad thing. Is really to see what the bigger picture is. The bigger picture is, if I'm paying taxes and I have a family that needs to eat, I really don't give a fuck about the scam. If there's somebody eating off the money I'm paying my taxes for, I really don't give a fuck about that. Because somebody's eating. Mm-hmm. Somebody's taking themselves. Yeah, people want to scam, but people scamming without that shit.
Really?
So let's be real. People scam. Shit, people were scamming the motherfucking shit. You had Bank of America, Walmart scamming for those loans for small businesses. So you're not going to avoid the scam.
Still gonna be there.
You know, but you know, like I said, let's go back to the point of, you know, Georgia is now a Democratic state fully. Congratulations, Georgia. And we gotta talk about one very important person in Georgia. You know who that person?
Stacey Abrams.
Yes. So this woman, what was it? 4 years ago, ran for governor of Georgia. And for lack of a better word, she got screwed. A very incompetent man became governor of Georgia. It's actually pretty funny because the president of the United States was endorsing this motherfucker 4 years ago. Now he can't stand the motherfucker. Ain't that some shit?
Ain't it?
So Stacey Abrams, she didn't put her head down, went in a hole hiding, crying. She re-energized herself, pushed her powers forward, and she mobilized her agenda. And to her credit, I ain't gonna say she did it by herself, but she really pushed the Democratic agenda down there. Now, I am not neither a Democrat or a Republican, but I really feel like this. If you're gonna have government, you might as well have government full of the same people with the same ideas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why would you have a Republican Senate, a Democratic House, a Democratic president? You know what that means? Nothing gets done. Nothing.
It goes here and it stops there.
Yes.
It goes here and it stops there.
Think about it like this. For instance, this CARES Act that just passed in December. You know the House passed that shit in fucking June? And where did it go? It stayed at Mitch McConnell's desk. He didn't even look at this shit until December. And he cut that motherfucker way the fuck down. Because he was afraid to give out people handouts. His words. I want to incentivize people to work.
Well, guess what? In spite of your bullshit, I got a job and I still got a check. Exactly.
I want to incentivize people to work. That's what's his thing. But there's no jobs.
Right.
And now this is my criticism of Obama. There were no real jobs that were really created. Most of the jobs that were created in Obama's regime were a bunch of, food service jobs, hospitality type jobs, where you worked at, restaurants and stuff like that. And once this pandemic hit, all those food service jobs went out the fucking window. So you got people sitting at home without no job, without no businesses, and everything shut down. Now, instead of being partisan, I felt like Congress should have worked out deals where people can actually keep their business, keep their situation open, forego, pay the banks their money, and this is paying the banks money, pay the banks their money so that they can actually survive. I had ideas. I always was thinking that instead of the electric company bogging down people on paying electric bills, knowing that they can't afford it, the government should have subsidized that and instead of give. Now, me myself, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't one for giving out free fucking money. My idea was you pay off the people that needs help. So you give out money to, say, for instance, Duke Energy, so you don't have to worry about your electric bill for this pandemic. You know what I mean? Until the pandemic's over. Or who else? Your mortgage company, pay the banks, so you don't have to pay out no money to the banks, so they won't foreclose on your fucking house. Or your rental person won't kick you out because you can't pay your rent. That's the shit I was thinking about doing.
I mean, that's what a parent would do for their children.
But then I also thought, now I did flip a little bit because I feel like that $2,000 or the $600 that was paid out, that does keep the economy going. You know how you keep the economy going? You keep people spending fucking money.
Right.
If people are spending money, people gotta make shit. If people gotta make shit, they gotta hire people to make that shit. If you gotta hire people to make that shit, that means money going in the circle. That's why I understand that black people want to be entrepreneurs, and there's nothing wrong with that. We were able to make our own fucking money. But in the same right, there's nothing wrong with being a worker either.
We always come to this situation. He believes in working. No. Because when it comes to like, if you can't, like say for instance, because when we were talking about this one time before, and it was like I was saying, if you didn't find a hustle in 2020, I don't know if you ever gonna find one. Cause like that was the year of the hustler, the peddler, the whatever, the entrepreneur.
Everybody had their eyelash business.
Everybody had something going on in 2020. And my boy here, he was like, but there's nothing wrong with a job. And I get that. Because you can't make everybody with their eyelashes, like you said. There's no way that you're going to be able to feed everybody at your house just doing eyelashes. No way. There's no way. So, you know, in that sense, you're right about that. But I indeed believe all of us.
Hey, all right, so
All
let
of us
me straighten this out. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with getting a job or not. And I'm getting a hustle and working out your job.
Yeah.
Or starting your own business. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But the reality is, the reason why I say there's nothing wrong with having a job, because in the long run, the job is what keeps this economy going. The job, some people having jobs keep this economy going. You can have with so many owners. If everybody owner, you're not keeping the economy going at all. You need somebody who manufactures and make your shit. Like say for instance, if you made fucking dials, who the fuck you gonna make 1,000 dials by yourself?
Stop it. What is a dial?
A dial, baby.
You see the up north end, a dial. Well, doll. It's a doll.
A doll, baby. Okay, a doll, baby.
Okay.
A doll, baby. You know, if you have a doll company, you're gonna need workers.
Yeah.
Your workers is what you pay your workers. Your workers put their money back into the economy and build everything else up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying there is something wrong with owning your own business. I really am not. But there's nothing wrong with if you have a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job at all. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's not like I'm saying black people need to open up their own shit. Don't get me wrong. I believe that black people really need to open up their own fashion company. Like, you know, Versace and shit like that. We buy the shit. Why don't we open up our own shit with our own stuff? No, I'm not talking about me or you. I can't afford that shit. But I'm talking about, like, you know, in general, we buy the shit. Louis Vuitton, what's that other thing? Fendi, Gucci. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that black people are encouraged to buy. Or what's that? Birkin bags. You know, them ugly ass motherfucking bags cost $10,000.
Look, I can do Coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Coach.
But you know, we buy shit, and don't get me. Like I said, I believe in buying into black-owned businesses, but we gotta also remember that these businesses have to run successful. You can't have a business without our workers, and that's what it is.
Well, if they can hire workers, you're onto something because you got to make some money.
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not discouraging black entrepreneurship. I'm just saying you can be a black entrepreneur and still, you know, try. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying new shit. If you feel like you got an idea that can make you a significant amount of money that supports yourself, that's good. You know what I mean?
I'm just believing also. A lot of the same stuff that people that, you know, from different companies, they're all getting their stuff, and it is wholesale from the same place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody you look on people's stuff and you see people with the same type of outfits, with the same type of lashes. It's all coming from the same place. They're just putting their own brand on it.
Oh yeah. All right. Case in point. I drive around in a Volkswagen. I look at my car. I drove down the street one day. I drive by a BMW. It's not the higher end BMW, it's a lower end BMW.
Mm-hmm.
I look at this car, and I look at my car. It's the same fucking car. It just, one got BMW on it, one got Volkswagen on it. The body style, everything the same. BMW, Volkswagen. That's it.
Slap that brand on there.
Well, that's with everything, though. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you slap a brand on it, people think, For instance, I remember I used to work at Walmart. Now, this is not true about everything at Walmart. That you ever get the Great Value brand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, most of the Great Value brand is actually the real brand with Walmart sign on it. You know what I mean? And I remember one time we had tissue, and this is what I honestly seen myself. It had Kleenex on one side, and you turn it over, it said Great Value on the other.
Look at them little things at the bottom of all your stuff. You got some things, like if you look at a certain toilet paper, it'll be like from the same manufacturer that Scott brand toilet paper is from. Same place.
All right, well, here's we'll put you on a little. Now, Walmart, this is why Walmart's such a genius company. Walmart people pay to sell this shit at Walmart.
Yeah.
So you pay to sell your shit at Walmart. And Walmart always tell people who pay, all right, that's good, but what we're going to take is a certain brand, certain amount of your stuff, and we're going to put our name on it. So it's going to say Great Value.
Yeah.
It's going to still be your shit.
Yeah.
But it's going to say Great Value on it. Now, let's be real. Some of the companies, they kind of dumb their shit down and give them the cheaper version of their brand. And some companies don't. Like they said, Kleenex, they don't want to do that. How can you dumb down tissue? But, like Oreos, they do that. You know what I'm saying? And Oreos does that.
No.
So, look on her face. Oreo does that a lot. And so, that's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? But we're going to go to our final segment of the day. It's called Get It Off Your Motherfucking Chest. What do you need to get off your fucking chest?
Assimilation. Do we, because of essentially in this country, it's black and white. The other races kind of fall to the wayside. They talk about the Mexicans, they talk about the Asians, they talk about the Africans, they talk about everybody else. But essentially, it's black and white. Okay? You might have to edit this part out. Hey, little girl, stop making all that noise over there.
You are kind of killing
Very noisy. Okay. Essentially, it is black and white. And for the longest, I think black people have been trying to sit at the table with white folks. It's like we forgive.
Back to what I was saying though, I just feel like growing up, we get a good job. We had to have the low top fade. Couldn't have a beard. It's kind of like everything that made us black was something that we kind of detested and we had to get away from. And I feel like now more people are wearing their natural hair, natural, colors, doing their natural thing. I don't believe that we should have to assimilate though. I like being black. I'll be honest with you, I like being black.
I like being black. I don't like the stigmatism that comes from being black. I don't like the I don't like the fact that was it California that just passed a law allowing black people not to be judged by hair growing naturally from their head, because people lost jobs over that. People didn't get hired because of hair that grew naturally from their head. Let's be honest. We've always worn our hair natural. We're doing it more now because we're letting them see us, that this is us. Yeah. And we don't have to be ashamed of it. We don't have to be afraid of it. A lot less people are using relaxers and whatnot because for the simple fact that, damn it, that stuff is not good for us. Oh. It's not good for us. And we want you to see our hair grows towards the sun. Okay? Mm-hmm. Let's just be honest. Our hair grows towards the sun. And for our kinky curlies, I'm a kinky curly. If I pop this wig out, baby, this hair is going to go straight up. Okay? Our hair grows towards the sun. And for good reason, too. I believe, from our melanin, we grow towards the sun, we go outside, we receive the sun. It's just natural to us to be that way. And I also feel like, I still don't feel like we get our justice, our just due, our propers because of the way society still sees us. There's still people that won't go down my street because of stuff that happened back in the day. And right now, it's pretty much just like a retirement area. Everybody grandparents live there.
Yeah, because it was back in the day.
I'm about the youngest person that lives on my street. Matter of fact, I am. That owns a home on my street. I'm the youngest person.
You know what? It's weird because, like I said, there's a lot of progress. You know what I mean? And I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was talking about naming children's names. And I feel like, I don't know. Did you watch Blackish?
I did.
All right. It was one show where he was talking about naming his child Devontae. And they're like, don't name the child that. That's just too black of a name. But it feels like, my name is, Taiwan. You know what I mean? And I feel like that name is original because that's who I am. That made who I am. So Taiwan is a part of my blackness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm not going to sit here and feel like when people looked at my name on the application, they were like, throw that in the trash.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, and your name, for instance, they look at your name and was like, oh, I want her. Because your name is your name. But, But I will not deny the fact that if you have a black sounding name, you have a harder time going in life. But I don't know. I don't want an assembly. I don't agree with assimilation. I feel like our culture is our culture. I don't feel like just because, you listen to rap music or something like that, that takes away from who we were or anything like that. I really feel like our culture is what makes us. I think
we came here basically from a whole different place. And I'm not talking about just us. I'm talking about our forefathers, our foremothers, our ancestors came here with nothing but our language. Language, what we had on our back, and customs. And all of that dwindled down to what we know now.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of something from this place and from that place and from this place, but it all dwindled down to what we know now. I don't know how to speak any bit of anything from Africa, okay? I don't know. I just don't. If an African person came up to me today and did some type of customary something, I wouldn't know what to do.
You know what, though? I want to say this, though, because I feel like, especially our dance, even in our dance, I think our dance is very much a part of us. Even that was never taken away from us, really. And I feel like now, you have the thing where people are twerking, and then people are like, "Oh my God, twerking!" And now twerking is a big ass thing. But
for everybody, yeah, they've been twerking for centuries.
I'm going to say that. So I feel like African dances, and let's be real, a lot of African dances are highly sexualized.
But it's not though. That's the thing.
No, when I say highly sexualized, I mean like
seen by white folks as highly sexualized.
Yeah, in Africa there was no fear of sexual dancing, and it was no shame with it. Where I feel like when white people see it, it's perverted. It's
they make it a perversion, and then a lot of that stuff rubbed off on us, and so we see it as being a perversion. Some of us see it as being a perversion. Okay, when you see a little girl who's like 4 years old and she bent her back out like this, they all like, "Oh my God, look at her, that's crazy."
But then we can go to video of people in Africa and they like, oh, and they
right, and they're doing all this. They're literally twerking, y'all. It's just the same thing like they used to talk about in church. The mothers would be like this in church.
Yeah.
You know, with the shoulders. What did they used to do? This dance right here. Right. It all came back from something that was learned from something. I feel like the others made it to it seeming like it's sexualized. Because other cultures, everyone but the Europeans, other cultures, that's not sexualized. It is what it is. That's your culture.
You know what though? Well, hey, you're gonna get me to a whole different story. I wasn't even planning on getting into that.
What's that?
All right. I think as a whole, our culture and the world culture, when it comes down to sexualization, is not as big a deal as it is in European countries. So, sex is a very, very big deal. Even though they were having sex and they were having illicit sex, it was still something that they kind of were like, put their nose up against, or, oh, I don't want to really, you know. And that comes from mostly religion. But it's not only Christian religion, you know, and I'm not saying only Europeans. There are also some Arabic countries that do the same shit.
Yeah. Have you seen the show on Bridgerton?
No, I haven't never seen it.
Okay, so it's a new show that just came out. Well, it came out last year, but towards the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that it literally talks about that. Although it's going on, the guys can go out here and do this and do that, go to brothels, blah, 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 blah. They can do that. And then the women that were out there, they're doing it with, whether they were doing it at a brothel or they were just, you know, somebody who was made themselves available to do it with, they were seen as the unmarriageable.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the girls. It was seasons of time that they had a season to be married. So they went before the queen, and the queen would say which one is the most special, I guess you would say. That should be the one that is like the crown jewel, that is the most precious to be married off. And you literally see these girls, they don't know where a baby comes from. They don't know how a baby comes about at all, period. And they're old enough to get married. They don't even know, they're trying to get married. They don't even know where kids come from. Like they just think they fall from the sky. So they're all anxious to get married and have families and start them immediately, and don't even know anything about sex. They don't know anything about touching themselves. None of that. So in the storyline, I'm not going to tell y'all everything, but they just don't know. So somebody gets pregnant, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, how do you make a baby? And the mom's like, we don't talk about that type of stuff. She shut it all the way down. And then the girl goes over there with her brother. She's like, do y'all know how to make a baby? And the boys know, because they're taught to go out there and
do what you gotta do.
Do it, you know? But the girls are not. The girls can't even be out alone by themselves without a chaperone with a guy. So it's just like everything about sex for women is taboo until you become a woman. And I'm just like, ain't this is astonishing.
I know, but that's real though. Like, all right, for instance, I think you guys were discussing before. All right, you think about, for instance, you deal with, say, you go back to the 1800s.
That's where we're at.
And the man would go out and they would go to the prostitutes and they would have sex with the prostitutes and have a full-blown family. You know, and this, in American culture, Wild West culture wasn't the only culture with it. You go to Japan, they have house of prostitution, geishas. And what you think of geisha, John? Like, I was on China, geisha girls. And, you know, you have
But
women.
they were highly thought of.
They were highly thought of, though. I just feel like, and if we're going to go down this rabbit hole, we'll go all the way down. I feel like as Christianity infected white culture, especially, it made certain things when it deals with sex and females a little bit more reclusive. Like, you know, if you even read the Bible, you know, it was almost like it was okay for the man to have multiple partners.
In the first part. the second part in the New Testament was not like that. The Old Testament, yes, concubines, all that. You can do it all, but not a woman.
Yeah,
a woman go out here and cheat, stone her, kill her.
Stone her to death. Cut her whole body up and just send it all over the place.
Yeah, not a woman. But in the New Testament, it was a little bit different.
I know the New Testament was a little bit different. But I feel like even with that though said, the New Testament was different. I feel like with that being said, the New Testament was different. That's why I don't believe in it at all, because I feel like it depends on what story is. Now we can get into the whole story of the Bible on our next thing, because that's a big thing with me. You know, now that I know certain things that I didn't know before, people pick and choose what they want to put into the Bible.
What they want to put into the Bible and what they want to get out of the Bible.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But, it's just like women have in history, especially in Christian culture, has really been put down to y'all not supposed to have sexuality. The man is. Even when you hear about, sex in the Song of Solomon, it tells the man to enjoy his wife and enjoy the breast of your wife and stuff like that. Ain't nowhere in the Song of Solomon that says enjoy your husband's dick. It's nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it does say enjoy the something of your youth. Enjoy the. It didn't say
it talks about
woman versus man.
It enjoys the spouse of your youth. But even with that said, it's not really something sexual. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, it's sexual.
But it's not.
It's not just blatantly put out there.
Oh, no,
it's
all right.
The song, you go in the songs, there's a sexual innuendo all up and through there. You got to look for it. You got to know what they're talking about. But it's in there.
No, there's a lot of sexual situations in the Bible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nasty, perverted shit in the Bible.
It's in there.
It's just, if you read it, you'll see it.
You just be like, what? There's so much. It's kind of like a soap opera, basically. You go through and you're like, what? And then you're reading this part and you're reading this part. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, they've got some good stuff. Some good stuff is in the Bible.
If you want to hear some Game of Thrones shit, you can read your Bible.
Right.
And all that shit.
It's a.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of boring shit in the beginning, but in between Deuteronomy and freaking Psalms, oh my God.
Proverbs. I told my children to read Proverbs because Proverbs has a lot of wisdom. James has a lot of wisdom.
I think just because there are certain things in the Bible that has a lot of. I mean, even Matthew, John, Luke, Mark. They all have good things and good sayings. Don't get me wrong. I just don't go for the religious aspect of everything. I feel like the religious aspect is the thing that, I don't
like the Gospels though. I never really liked the Gospels. You hear about it every Easter.
But James is the Gospel though.
I know, but to me, James is like, it's not like the three Gospels. It's not like.
There's four, but go ahead.
But it's not like those three. The main ones to talk about.
Matthew, Luke, John.
It's not like those.
Yeah.
It's James, towards the end of the Bible, is wisdom. It's basically straight wisdom. It gives it to you like fact after fact after fact. Get together, get your life right, do this, do that. It's like straight facts of what you need to do to get yourself right. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm like this. Like I said, I have read the Bible. People, when you say you don't believe in God, people act like you ain't never read the Bible a day in your life. But I have read the Bible through multiple times, and the reality is, I feel like there's a lot of good shit in the Bible that you can take from, but there's a lot of let's be honest. There's a lot of contradictory in the Bible.
It's a lot of contradiction.
You know what I mean? So.
And then people will tell you, well, it's all in how you perceive it.
No, it's
and
not.
It's all in how you do this.
No, it's not.
And it's all in, and I'm like,
You can't say God hate war and yet
there's a time for war.
There's war everywhere in the Bible. I mean,
it says, and it literally says there's a time to kill.
Yeah, like literally the Bible, like literally God is sending people out to commit war. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you have to kill all these people. And he was a motherfucking prick about it too. It was like, you can't just kill, you gotta kill men, women, children, cows, cats, dogs, everything.
The firstborn,
secondborn, third. It doesn't even fucking matter. You kill everybody. You know what I mean? And you kill it like this is what you are reading. But don't get me wrong. There's things in Proverbs that's really good. There's things in Psalms. There are things in some of the Gospels. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. The preaching of Jesus for practical reasons is good. But I always felt like in the Bible and in most Western religions that women get the short end of the stick when it comes to being sexual.
Women get the short end of the stick, period.
Exactly.
Black women on top of that.
Oh, black women. Black women, that we can talk about that in a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole nother one.
But like I said, like I just feel like
if you are sexualized, what they call you?
But who the fuck are these dudes having sex with?
Exactly. The same hoes.
And trust. Before we left, I get underway in it soon, but I always say this, and we can talk about this next time. I always feel like hoes are happier than motherfucking girls who try not to be. And that's my real thing, because I feel like a hoe is being herself, and she's free to be herself.
I am not her a hoe. Let's call her just.
I'm just saying
sexually free.
I can say that, but I'm just talking about the worldview of her. But I feel like somebody who's really comfortable with who they are in their own sexuality, I feel like they're more apt to be happy than somebody who had to try to partake in society's ways of what a woman should be like. Suppressing. For instance, like we talked about this before, but I feel like remember that song WAP? That song WAP came out and shit like that, and there's a lot of guys. I listen to Ben Shapiro. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like a Republican, conservative, and he rapped the whole song and talking about it's just disgusting. You know how many men came up with songs like WAP? One of my all-time favorite rap songs is Uchi Wally. Little young thing, go to around my dick with your tongue, reach for the 9-inch, grind from the backyard. Like, that was my shit. And I'm not saying it right because, I'm on the show, but, I can get real ignorant with it. But you talking about what's so wrong with WAP, who says the same thing, but in reverse, than a man saying the same thing.
Because a lot of guys and women have drank the Kool-Aid when it comes to believing that there is a major difference between the way that a woman should behave and the way that a man should behave. And the only reason why that stays intact today is because men and women still want to hold true to that a hoe can't be a housewife. But I've seen it happen. It can. Or that a man can go out here and do whatever, and he ain't gonna reach no circumstances because of what he did. Oh, but that happens too. Because women are getting tired of y'all shit. And they turn around and get their gun and that Glock go upside your head. They're not playing. So to me, you really got to, I feel like that as a society as a whole, we can't just sit up here and keep saying these gender roles and trying to keep them intact, because it's just not going to happen. Sooner or later, everybody's going to be doing their own thing anyway. It's already happening. So trying to keep all this stuff tied so tight and true and tied in a nice little, neat little bow so that it looks like what it's supposed to look like, I'm sorry, but most of them people are living a lie, because it's just not going to go down. If I'm in a relationship and my man want to go out here and do whatever, now, granted, if I'm in a relationship, but if my man goes out here and wants to do whatever, guess what? I'm finna do too. We finna be two motherfuckers out here just doing whatever, okay? And I'm going to let him know that. If he don't want to let me know that, that's fine. But just know, I'm letting you know that. Don't try to be like, oh, y'all can't. Oh, no. Because what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
All right, so what Miss Tuesday is getting on to a point is, we're going to talk about this in our next show. Gender roles in our society. I think this will be a great topic, because I know actually, truth be told, I'm going to write that down. Well, I don't have my pen out here.
I'm going to put it on my phone.
Put it in the phone. But all right, so that's going to be our next topic: is gender roles in the society and what is expected of a man and woman, and how we can break those, and how to really apply that to ourselves. I think that will be a good topic to talk about next week. And to end this all off, I'm Ty Lamar, and that is
Two Winters.
Awesome. And this is
Talking Shit with TNT.
We Out.